Hi, my name's Travis and this is my Lap Band Journey Episode 2. So today is Monday. It is the 9th of August 2021. Just to put that in perspective, it is the Monday after the Olympics finished in Tokyo last night. So this is episode 2 of my Lap Band Journey. Episode 1 was fairly lengthy. You can probably hear my dogs Buddy and Dusty barking as around me, which I'll probably do, but that's okay. Yeah, my first episode was about 25 minutes long. I wanted to talk about my background. Episodes from now on, I'll be trying to keep around the 5 to 10 minute mark. Just basically as an update, just talk about how I'm going and probably just pose some questions to everyone else about experiences I've had and just see if people either agree or disagree or what they may have done. So, yeah, Monday the 9th of August, I had my operation on the 7th of April. So we're now about 4 months, or pretty much exactly 4 months after the operation. The first video I made was about 6 weeks after the operation. I'm filming from my backyard here in Melbourne, in the state of Victoria in Australia. My first episode I was in the state of New South Wales on a coastal location. I was kind of hoping to film from there again, but with coronavirus, even though here in Australia we don't have it anywhere near as bad as the rest of the world, we still do get it, and at the moment we're in a situation where we can't leave our current states. So here I am at home. It is winter in here in Australia. Currently obviously a fairly nice day today. So I've been on my walk, which I do every day or most days depending on the weather, with my 2 dogs. You can see the walk I do is around 5k, a bit over 5k each time. I try and do it fairly quickly, and I try and do it in around 55 minutes. That's all part of it. So yeah, I mentioned in the first episode, when you're 6 weeks post-op, you're still very much getting used to the lap band. I did talk about blockages and that sort of thing. When I started, I was 130 kilos at the start of the year. I'm going to talk in kilos, obviously, that's being in Australia. I was 125 kilos before the operation. I think when I did my previous video, I mentioned I was 118 kilos on the 17th of May. I'm now 110 kilos, so that's 8 kilos less than then. So 20 kilos less than the start of the year. My goal is very much to get to 100 kilos around the spring. Spring's only about a month away. I'm not going to be 100 by the start of spring, but certainly into the spring. So yeah, 20 kilos down, 10 to go this year. And then next year I'll be aiming to then get into the 90s and then review things as in keeping a more steady pattern. Let's talk about blockages for a minute. So yeah, look, I'm well and truly used to having the lap band now. And I really love my lap band. I've had 2 fills, seen my surgeon twice, or 3 times. I had a fill which filled it about half full, and then another fill which I think it's now around 3/4 fill. I can't think of the exact terms of measurements. And I have regular meetings with my dietitian as well. The last 3rd meeting I had, I actually didn't have a refill. My dietitian and surgeon said I'm basically now in the green zone and traveling along quite well. So I've well and truly got used to having the lap band. And yeah, look, it's a really good time now. At the start, there is a lot of working it out, and it is a whole new thing. I think what happens now around 4 months is you just, after like anything, you just start to get used to it. And I think it becomes the new you. So I think that's really the best part of it. It's not just there, it's obviously a tool you have to use, but it becomes the new you. And what I mean by that is, I eat a lot less than I used to. So for example, if I have a steak and veggie dinner, once I would have had, you know, the big full steak that takes up the majority of the plate. Now, I might only have a piece of steak not much bigger than the palm of my hand, and even that I might struggle to get through. I've really learnt, and I'd like to talk about blockages and sliders, two things I'd like feedback on. Now, a blockage, I find I have a blockage maybe once a week on average, and my surgeon said he thinks that's about right. If you're having a blockage around once a week or more than once a week, you're probably doing something wrong. Now, I could have, you know, a few in a few days or not have one for a little while, but one a week would be average. I basically now just give into it. When I feel the blockage, I'll go to the bathroom and I'll just start trying to bring up whatever the problem is. A lot of phlegm comes up. I'll drink water, bring that up, and eventually I sort of get it clear. It's not an ideal thing to happen, but I think it is part of it. You sort of have to accept it. But I think the positive I take out of it is every time I have a blockage, it's usually my own fault. So I haven't chewed something properly. So again, if I have maybe steak or something like that, it just means I haven't chewed it properly. And I think, yeah, I rushed, or chicken. And sometimes I think, yeah, I know I'm sort of maybe going a bit quick or something. So I think it's a good reminder in some ways just to keep chewing, and because you will get a blockage. And the last thing you want is blockages at inconvenient times, like at work or something like that. So, yeah, although you don't want to get a blockage, I don't think it's necessarily always a bad thing. And in terms of sliders, well, I think I've learnt, I think I was eating probably about a month or so maybe in the 2 to 3 month mark over this 4 months, far too many sliders. And what I mean by a slider is, I discussed this with my dietitian. A slider is something that basically dissolves in your mouth. She told me before it hits the little spider on me, before it hits the lap band pouch, so that therefore it just moves straight through. So I don't know, examples of that might be things like, I reckon a good example might be spaghetti bolognese. You've got the meat sauce and you've got the pasta. The pasta is just so soft as it is. It's easy, obviously there's no chewing really involved. The sauce is already basically in a liquid sort of sauce form, and it just goes straight through. So I thought initially having a lot of things, like I've mentioned steak a few times, and maybe carrots, and things you've got to really, you know, carrots are sort of half cooked, this has got a bit of crunch to them, would be the things you don't want to eat. I find that they are the things you want to eat, because you've got to chew them. So a bit of, let's say you have steak, potato, and we're talking baked potatoes, not in mashed form or anything, and half cooked carrots, which are still got, you know, a crunch to them. You've got to chew it. There's no other way. The carrots and the steak, you must chew it down to as much of a paste form as you can. Let it go down, and then you've got to really wait that minute, because you know it's going to take a while to pass through the lap band. And I think that does the job a lot better. I hope people out there do agree with me, because you think, okay, I've had that bit of steak, that bit of carrot, I've chewed it, chew. I've now swallowed it, and I know it's sitting in the lap band, but I know it's going to take a while also to move through that area. So one, it sits into the pouch, creates those signals that go up to your brain saying, hang on buddy, you're full. I can feel you full up to the top of your stomach. There is food there, even though we know it's stuck in the pouch. So it's tricking your mind. And you have to take that minute or so to just wait for it to move through, and then have the next bite, and so on. So you chew, you eat very slowly, and you can only eat a fairly small amount. And your brain's getting the messages that, yeah, I'm full. There's meat, there's food in that pouch. You might do this over a 20-minute period, and you think, great. You know, you can eat that small bit of steak, as I mentioned, some veggies, you know, probably a quarter of what I used to eat in a meal like that, maybe even less. And you feel it takes a lot longer, and you feel full. You're not feeling hungry because your brain's getting those messages. So I think that's the best way to do it, to eat those things that you must chew. So, look, a typical day for me, it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon here at the moment. I'm not working today. So I slept in to around 10, stayed up and watched the closing ceremony last night, got up, have lemon water. So I'll squeeze 1 or 2 lemons. We seem to have a lot of lemons. You can probably see the lemon tree behind me at the moment. Got a million lemons. So I'll have 1 or 2 lemons in lemon water. They say that's a really good way to start the day. And then I'm quite capable of not eating for a while. So I went on my big long walk, and then had 2 eggs fried in a pan, no oil or anything. I've got a non-stick pan. Plenty of water, a cup of tea. Now I've got a second cup of tea. It's now 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I've had 2 eggs today so far. Afternoon, I'll have some sort of lunch. I haven't actually decided what I'll have yet, but it could be even maybe something like some oats if I'm not feeling too experimental. Something like some chicken and avocado, dry, just cold chicken, something like that. Then for dinner, I will be having chicken that I had last night. There's leftover. All I did was in a slow cooker. So it's just chunks of chicken, pineapple and carrot, and added to that sweet and sour sauce and some barbecue sauce. Probably got a bit too much sugar in it, those sort of sauces, but you know, it's still a pretty reasonably healthy dinner. And I'll just have a small bowl of that, a little bit of rice. It is white rice. Again, you shouldn't have white rice, and you could not have the rice altogether, but it just makes it a bit more enjoyable. I think that's the thing. You've got to learn to, you still got to eat. You can't be on this, you know, of doing 100% right things all the time. Which leads, I think, into another good conversation I'd like to have and people to share is I'm now experimenting with a lot of healthy dinners. Not dinners, healthy treats. So I'll put another picture up now of the healthy biscuits that I've been making. Now, in a typical biscuit like this one, I've been mucking around, so that will have in it some powdered peanut butter, which you can get, which has a hell of a lot less fat in it than the normal peanut butter, but still the benefits of peanut butter. It has in it oats and has in it, now I've been using stevia sweetener, but this one hasn't got in it. I've been using a no sugar sort of natural maple syrup, a mashed banana, a little bit of coconut flour, and some dark choc chips. Bake those in the oven, 2 or 3 of those. I might have one in the afternoon, maybe a couple tonight with a cup of tea while I'm just watching TV or whatever. And yeah, they're a perfect, I think, snack. So if I have 2 is fine, maybe 3 is too many. But again, you know, we're not going to get too fussy about these sort of things. Sometimes we do a bit better than some days we don't. That leads on to a good conversation. So I've been watching a lot of the Olympics the last 2 weeks. I have been 110 kilos for about 2 weeks. The reason being, I've had 2 weeks off. So I've been having a lot of the wrong sort of snacks in the past couple of weeks. When I say wrong snacks, maybe normal biscuits, and I've been having ice cream a fair bit. So I reckon I've been really hitting a point where I'm sort of just leveling out every day. Now I'm not too worried about that. If I had not done a few of those things, I'd probably be more like about 108 kilos now. And I'll now sort of start to not do those sort of snacks. I've said, okay, today I'm just going to go back to the healthy sort of snacks. So yeah, look, to summarize, I think I'm doing well. I do read and see a lot of negative things occasionally about the lap band. I've seen people on my Facebook page mention that, oh, negative posts. People seem to have a lot of negative things to say. I've really got nothing negative to say. My lap band so far has been very successful. It's helping me lose weight. It's the tool I wanted it to be. It's helping me change my lifestyle. It's helping me change the way I eat. As I mentioned, I think I'm now starting to get used to those changes. Yeah, and it's now starting to become my norm. As I'm losing weight, I'm feeling so much healthier. I'm now walking, and as I say, because I'm carrying around 20 less kilos than I probably was at the start of the year and last year, and for a lot of the time throughout my life, I feel I've got a lot more energy and a lot more up and about and a lot more energetic, which is exactly what it is. It's onwards and upwards from here. So yeah, look, I'll check out for now. As I say, I don't want to make it too long and therefore become a bit boring. But look, any questions about sliders, any questions about blockages or comments or experiences and just different things people do with their eating, I'd be interested to hear. I'm happy to listen to it. I'm happy to share my experiences, and I'm hoping other people will share theirs with me as well. So keep going, lap banders. Let's encourage each other and do this together. I think that's a really great way to do it. And I hope to talk to you guys. As I say, it's early August, so September, probably sometime maybe in October. Yeah, onwards and upwards, and I'll see you soon.